All right, everybody, welcome back. The debates are over. What do we think happened? What is the mainstream legacy media trying to say? We out here trying to kill the legacy media. I promise you, that's what our main goal here at the Rock and Roll Rebel Show is to kill the legacy media. We don't want to be lied to no more. They lie to us 24/7, 7 days a week. We saw it with the debate. Why they only cut off Donald Trump? Why they only fact-check Donald Trump? And they fact-check lies. Kamala Harris, she said like 33 different lies, 33 different. Not one got checked. She talked about Charlottesville, the bloodbath hoax, the cats, the Haitians, all of it. But this is what the media does. I mean, shit, it is 9/11 today. You know what I'm saying? It is 9/11 today. And it's one of the biggest lies ever we've been told. And I guess we're going to have to get down that. Trump was in New York. Biden was in New York. Kamala Harris was in New York to celebrate or to commiserate or to be saddened. I don't know what you would say to remember, never forget 9/11. I'll never forget where I was. I was working. I was working in a grocery store. And I remember a lady came in and said the White House got hit by a plane. And I was like, what is this lady talking? That didn't happen, but this is how you got to realize news travels. So I don't know if she was on her way on the radio, but literally she said a plane hit the White House. I was like, oh my. So I left and went out to the car. Actually, I went out and got into the truck, put on the radio, I think Howard Stern, and then Howard Stern was talking about how the Trade Center got hit. So that's how I got informed. And then here we are 23 years later, and you're like, wow, it's wild out here. It's wild out here. They continue to do it. They're going to keep on doing it. And the only thing I can advise you to do, because you in the jungle, protect yourselves at all times. It's getting wilder and wilder. We see the crimes coming. And the debate was good. Everybody wants to pump Kamala. I think it's because the Democrats realized that they had Joe Biden for the last few debates. And he couldn't debate. He was just, he wasn't there. His brain is gone. He's mush. He can't think as fast as he used to be. And they had Kamala, who was well-rehearsed. She ducked and dodged a lot of questions. But at the end of the day, I guess the media is happy because they finally have a candidate. The Democrats finally have a candidate that can speak. You know what I'm saying? And can think. So it's a bit odd for them. They're like, oh, we won. We won. Trump came off raw and passionate for the American people. He felt it. You know what I'm saying? He gave you like, they are destroying us, and sending us into WW3. Trump was passionate, and that's going to speak volumes, but it's not going to change a lot. It's not going to change a lot. We already know who we're voting for here. Like I said, get out and vote early. Make sure you get out and register to vote. You still got time for all of that. And let's just get into a little bit of it today. I guess let's get a little highlight up here. Let's get a little highlight. I thought Trump destroyed Kamala here. But let's get into a little highlight of the debate. One of my favorite ones right here. Let's play this one. Oh, I guess we need some volume.
I'd like to see her go down to Washington, D.C. during this debate, because we're wasting a lot of time. Go down to, because she's been so bad, it's so ridiculous. Go down to Washington, D.C. and let her sign a bill to close up the border, because they have the right to do it. They don't need bills. They have the right to do it. The president of the United States, you'll get him out of bed. You'll wake him up at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Right. You'll say, come on down to the office. Let's sign a bill.
You see how they wanted to cut him off? They're like, all right. Trump's 46 seconds in. He gets a 2 minutes response. That's what I'm talking about. The moderators tried to cut him off all the time when he was speaking that knowledge, that deep truth that the deep state hates, the legacy media hates. They tried to hide from you.
If he signs a bill that the border is closed, all he has to do is say it to the Border Patrol, who are phenomenal. If they do that, the border is closed.
Mr.
Those
President.
people are killing many people.
There they go, trying to cut him off again, Mr. President. Trying to cut him off again. ABC is trash.
unlike J6.
We talked immigration here tonight. I do want to focus.
Yeah, they want to talk immigration. Sure they do. They want to talk about bringing more people in here and, putting our safety at risk. That's all. They don't care. You know what I'm saying? They in big-ass communities, behind gated communities, security guards. They don't care. They don't care about you peasants out there. You peasants, you just make sure you vote Democrat, peasants, or we'll make it harder for you. That's what they're saying to you. Look at the prices. They're talking about inflation come down. Inflation ain't come down. Hamburger meat and eggs is still twice as much as it used to be. Milk, twice as much as it used to be. Anything. Pasta, it don't matter. It's twice as much. They want to say it's up 3%. Bullshit. It's up 3%. The only thing they're doing is they're keeping the gas down because they're pumping gas. They're going to pump that down, and maybe the rest of it will come down. But Trump's the only thing. And Trump, we know Trump's not perfect, but Trump is the monkey wrench. He's going to throw right into the gears of the Washington government establishment, and hopefully he can knock a couple of them out. That's the goal of it, because we all see it. We all see it. SpaceX is supposed to be launching tonight. I guess they're in space, the highest they've been since we went to the moon. And they're going to open up the front hatch, and they're going to do like an astronaut walk. I just thought I'd put that out there. You know, I want to keep y'all entertained. That will be going on tonight, early morning. And I don't know. Kamala Harris, she flips and she flops. Here's Kamala Harris talking about flipping and flopping. Let's play this since we're on the debates. And they want to try to tell you that Kamala won, but we all know Kamala. She's going to have to do another debate, I guess, but I don't know if she has the cojones to do it. You know what I'm saying? She might have fell from the coconut tree.
This business about taking everyone's guns away, Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away, so stop with the...
I wish Trump would have asked her what kind of gun she has. She probably couldn't name it. I don't think she might have a gun. I don't know. People get gifts, but she probably doesn't use it.
Continuous lying about this stuff.
I support buybacks, and it's something I'm so passionate about and so looking forward to being president to address. We've got to deal with this.
How mandatory is your gun buyback program?
It's mandatory.
Stop with the...
It's mandatory. You stop with it. I'm not going to take your guns. I'm not going to raise prices. That's all the stuff they say to us. But they're going to keep on doing it. They don't care. You know what I'm saying? They don't care. You got childless cat ladies out here coming out to support Donald Trump. Taylor Swift is officially on board for Kamala Harris. What are you going to say? Nobody cares. The MTV Music Awards was tonight. I did watch some of that, and I was appalled. And that's not easy for me to be appalled, but I'm like, what is this? But what are you going to do? Taylor Swift is in love with Kamala Harris. They were doing the Katy Perry and the other thing, the scissoring up there. Ow, can somebody do that? I need Kamala. I need that edited in. I need the Katy Perry performance when she was scissoring, and I need that Kamala and Taylor. Please, somebody put their heads on that, bro. That would be so funny. But hopefully Travis Kelce breaks up with her. He should have broke up with her on Instagram, you know what I'm saying? But like, babe, what are you doing? Kamala's wild. TikTok bans you for putting out cat videos. I put out a Trump for cats. Cats for Trump. Banned. It gets banned. I don't know. I guess you can't have saying that the Haitians are eating animals. They want that narrative go away. That's why they're trying to debunk it and all that. But there's the lady on video that I played like 2 days ago where she was eating a cat. They got people on 911 calls talking about they picking up geese out of the pond and just cutting their heads off and taking them home by holding them by their feet. So it's wild out there. It's going to be so much disinformation and all this other stuff. They are going to come hard. They're going to come 100% hard. They're not going to stop. We're not going to stop because we're just going to keep giving you on the real news. And that's it. I mean, that's the only thing we can do, which is at this point, if we can't make fun of ourselves and how this country is being run, then you know what I'm saying, then we don't deserve it, I guess. You know what I'm saying? It's like, wake up. Hello. Wake up. Wake up.
Look at this dumb motherfucker.
But let me play. I want to find. Let me show the Trump thing. Yeah, because Trump, Kamala, and Biden and all them were in New York City. And I thought that was very nice. They all came together. And it's very nice of them to do that. But they didn't like it because, you know, Trump gets nothing but love. But here's Trump today on 9/11 with Kamala and Joe Biden. They were at the ceremonies there being held. It looks like Chuck Schumer's there also. It looks like you got all the Secret Service in the world, probably, I would imagine, over there. Let's play this. I wonder if Chuck Schumer's like, why are you shaking Donald's hand? Joe Biden looks like he don't know where he's at. You got J.D. Vance. Is that Ed Cox, the old mayor of, wasn't that him? Yeah, that was the mayor. Chuck Schumer there. They love Trump, baby. They love Trump. They love him. We love him here. We're going to make sure we get out and vote. That's the only thing we can do. We got to get out and vote. It's the only way we're going to get out of this nonsense. It's the only way we're going to get out of this nonsense. But hey, do people even really care? Do you really even care? You know what I'm saying? But further ado, I guess we'll get back into 9/11. My last 9/11 video, I did an anniversary video on 9/11 1 year ago to the day, where I had all like the Dancing Israels with the ABC tape, all like the undercover, low-key stuff. Probably did, I don't know, I think it was a half-hour show where I pulled out a lot of evidence and stuff like that about 9/11 and how the 9/11 Commission report got it exactly right. They got it exactly right, and they were telling the truth 100% of the time. So if you want to believe that narrative, which I do, you know what I'm saying? Because whatever they tell me, I'm going to believe. You know, why would they lie to me? Why would they lie to me? So let's play this. This sums it up. This sums up 9/11. Some of you weren't even born. 23 years ago. Some of you are 23 years old right now. Some of y'all might be 10, sitting along watching it. You're like, what's 9/11? Well, I'm going to sum it up for you kids and adults in the room, I guess. We're going to make you understand exactly what happened on 9/11. It's a short video. It's only 4 minutes and 30 seconds. It's the best I can do to sum up 9/11. So we're going to pull this and play this.
19 men armed with box cutters directed by a man on dialysis in
Let's go.
On the morning of September 11th, 2001, 19 men armed with box cutters directed by a man on dialysis in a cave fortress halfway around the world using a satellite phone and a laptop directed the most sophisticated penetration of the most heavily defended airspace in the world, overpowering the passengers and the military combat-trained pilots on 4 commercial aircraft before flying those planes wildly off course for over an hour without being molested by a single fighter interceptor. These 19 hijackers, devout religious fundamentalists who like to drink alcohol, snort cocaine, and live with pink-haired strippers, managed to knock down 3 buildings with 2 planes in New York, while in Washington a pilot who couldn't handle a single-engine Cessna was able to fly a 757 in an 8,000-foot descending 270-degree corkscrew turn to come exactly level with the ground, hitting the Pentagon in the budget analyst office where DoD staffers were working on the mystery of the $2.3 trillion that Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld had announced missing from the Pentagon's coffers in a press conference the day before, on September 10th, 2001. Luckily, the news anchors knew who did it within minutes.
Osama bin Laden.
The pundits knew within hours.
Osama bin Laden.
The administration knew within the day.
Terrorists who committed these acts and those who harbor them.
And the evidence literally fell into the FBI's lap.
That a hijacker's passport was found blocks from the World Trade Center crash site, if you can believe that.
But for some reason, a bunch of crazy conspiracy theorists demanded an investigation into the greatest attack on American soil in history. That investigation was delayed, underfunded, set up to fail, a conflict of interest, and a cover-up from start to finish. It was based on testimony extracted through torture, the records of which were destroyed. It failed to mention the existence of WTC-7, Able Danger, P-TECH, Sibel Edmonds, OBL and the CIA, and the drills of hijacked aircraft being flown into buildings that were being simulated at the precise same time that those events were actually happening. It was lied to by the Pentagon, the CIA, the Bush administration, and as for Bush and Cheney, well, no one knows what they told it because they testified in secret, off the record, not under oath, and behind closed doors. It didn't bother to look at who funded the attacks because that question is ultimately of little practical significance. Still, the 9/11 Commission did brilliantly answering all of the questions the public had, except most of the victims' family members' questions, and pinned blame on all the people responsible, although no one so much as lost their job, determining the attacks were
failure of imagination.
Because
nobody in our government, at least, and I don't think the prior government that could envision flying airplanes into buildings.
Except the Pentagon, FEMA, NORAD, and the NRO. The DIA destroyed 2.5 terabytes of data on Able Danger, but that's okay because it probably wasn't important. The SEC destroyed their records on the investigation into the insider trading before the attacks, but that's okay because destroying the records of the largest investigation in SEC history is just part of routine record keeping. NIST has classified the data that they used for their model of WTC-7's collapse, but that's okay because knowing how they made their model of the collapse would jeopardize public safety. The FBI has argued that all material related to their investigation of 9/11 should be kept secret from the public, but that's okay because the FBI probably has nothing to hide. This man never existed, nor is anything he had to say worthy of your attention, and if you say otherwise, you are a paranoid conspiracy theorist and deserve to be shunned by all of humanity. Likewise him, and her. And her, and her, and him. Osama bin Laden lived in a cave fortress in the hills of Afghanistan, but somehow got away. Then he was hiding out in Tora Bora, but somehow got away. Then he lived in Abbottabad for years, taunting the most comprehensive intelligence dragnet employing the most sophisticated technology in the history of the world for a decade, releasing video after video with complete impunity and getting younger and younger as he did so, before finally being found in a daring SEAL team raid which wasn't recorded on video, in which he didn't resist or use his wife as a human shield, and in which these crack special forces operatives panicked and killed this unarmed man, supposedly the best source of intelligence about those dastardly terrorists on the entire planet. Then they dumped his body in the ocean before telling anyone about it. Then a couple dozen of that team's members died in a helicopter crash in Afghanistan. This is the story of 9/11, brought to you by the media which told you the hard truths about
his head could be seen to move violently forward.
And
they took the babies out of the incubators.
And
mobile production facilities.
And
the rescue of Jessica Lynch.
If you have any questions about this story, you are a batshit paranoid tinfoil dog-abusing baby hater and will be reviled by everyone. If you love your country and or freedom, happiness, rainbows, rock and roll, puppy dogs, apple pie, and your grandma, you will never ever express doubts about any part of this story to anyone. Ever. This has been a public service announcement by the Friends of the FBI, CIA, NSA, DIA, SEC, MSM, White House, NIST, and the 9/11 Commission.
Yeah, that sums it up. I don't know if I can sum it up any better. I don't know if I could sum it up any better. But that's what life is right there. They gave it to us. They gave it to us. And some people took it hook, line, and sinker, baby. They took it hook, line, and sinker. But hey, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? It's tough. You see what they did to everybody on January 6th? They just lock you up. They tell you, come on in, and then lock you up. Because they know you're a Trump voter. That's what they want to do. They want a one-party system. They want to rule. They want to take away the guns. They just want to silence everything. That's the only thing they want to do. They're going to keep on doing it because that's what they believe in. And here's probably one of the best things. Donald Trump, he was around on September 11, 2001. He called into the radio station. And even back then, Trump knew it on that day. Something didn't make sense. Let's pull this up.
19 men armed with box cutters directed by a man on dialysis in a cave fortress halfway around the world using a satellite phone and a laptop directed the most sophisticated penetration of the most heavily defended airspace in the world, overpowering the passengers and the military combat trained pilots on 4 commercial aircraft before flying those planes wildly off course for over an hour without being molested by a single fighter interceptor. These 19 hijackers, devout religious fundamentalists who like to drink alcohol, snort cocaine, and live with pink-haired strippers, managed to knock down 3 buildings.
The World Trade Center was always known as a very, very strong building. Don't forget, that took a big bomb in the basement. Now, the basement is the most vulnerable place because that's your foundation. And it withstood that. And I got to see that area about 3 or 4 days after it took place because one of my structural engineers actually took me for a tour because he did the building. And I said, I can't believe it. The building was standing solid and half of the columns were blown out. I mean, so this was an unbelievably powerful building If you know anything about structure, it was one of the first buildings that was built from the outside. The steel, the reason the World Trade Center had such narrow windows is that in between all the windows, you had the steel on the outside. So you had the steel on the outside of the building. That's why when I first looked, and you had big, heavy I-beams, when I first looked at it, I couldn't believe it because there was a hole in the steel. And this is steel that was, you remember the width of the windows in the World Trade Center, folks. I think you know, if you were ever up there, they were quite narrow. And in between was this heavy steel. I said, how could a plane, even a 767 or 747, or whatever it might have been, how could it possibly go through the steel? I happen to think that they had not only a plane, but they had bombs that exploded almost simultaneously, because I just can't imagine anything being able to go through that wall. Most buildings are built with the steel is on the inside around the elevator shaft. This one was built from the outside, which is the strongest structure you can have, and it was almost just like a can of soup.
You know, Donald, we were looking at pictures all morning long of that plane coming into building number 2, and when you see that approach the far side, and then all of a sudden, within a matter of a millisecond, the explosion pops out the other side.
Right. I just think that it was a plane with more than just fuel. I think, obviously, they were very big planes. They were going very rapidly, because I was also watching where the plane seemed to be not only going fast, it seemed to be coming down into the building. So it was getting the speed from going downhill, so to speak. It just seemed to me that to do that kind of destruction is even more than a big plane, because you're talking about taking out steel, the heaviest caliber steel that was used on a building. I mean, these buildings were rock solid. And, you know, it's just an amazing thing. This country is different today. The World Trade.
And he's right.
With 2 planes in New York, today. While in Washington, a pilot who couldn't handle it.
Why does that keep playing? Yeah, the country is 100% different today. And we just got to pay attention. We just got to pay attention, everybody. But that's gonna wrap it up for tonight. That's gonna wrap it up for tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like and sub up. God loves you. I love you. America's gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. We're gonna get out and vote on November 5th. Keep on rocking in the free world, baby. Keep on rocking in the free world. And I'm gone, baby. I'm out of here.